What the hell is happening right now? Yes, hello everybody, I am Just Nintendo, obviously. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. I would love to have you join the community. Again, we just shot past 1,000 subscribers last week. I still can't believe it, but here we are. I wasn't planning on making a video on this, but I thought, my original thought was it doesn't relate directly to Nintendo, so I wasn't going to do anything with it, but it absolutely will affect Nintendo and the entire gaming industry as a whole moving forward. So I thought I would absolutely be down to cover this because this is huge. This is very important. I'm sure you've seen videos already on YouTube discussing this, but I wanted to add my 2 cents. So here we are. Obviously, I'm not in my room. I'm traveling. I'm out of town for a wedding this weekend, so I made do with what I could. I brought my little ring light with me, and we're going. We're good. But obviously, I'm sure most of you have seen what's going on, what did go on with Concord last week, a couple days ago. If you weren't aware, the game launched last month in August. I keep blanking on the name of the developer, but it was published by Sony. This was a in-house Sony published game. I believe it was a PlayStation exclusive, I think. Might have been on PC too, but I know it wasn't on Xbox and it wasn't on Switch. The game launched and it had a record low 25,000 players. 25,000 people bought the game. 25,000. For reference, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 sold upwards of like 9 million units in its first week. And that's a single player game. That's a single player experience. So Concord, it gets 25,000 sales, and not even a week later, it shuts down. A first-party live service hero shooter shuts down. After years of development, I think upwards of $200 million development budget, shuts down. Everyone goes home, the game is scrapped, and the servers are shut down. Why is this important? Because, and I'm going to get into Astro Bot here in a second, but this shows exactly how much power that we as the consumer have. This game, I'm not going to hold anything against like the artists or the, a lot of the devs, I'm sure did put a lot of time and a lot of care into this game. But there are so many hero shooters. There are so many games with microtransactions and battle passes, and obviously I'm a huge sucker for Fortnite if you know me in real life. That was one of, if not the first games to have a battle pass, so I kind of give them a little leeway. Still not a ton, not great business practice. And Suicide Squad is another great example of that. We don't want these games. We don't want them. We don't want games that are live service, that are going to be good for a bit, maybe, and then just shut down. Marvel's Avengers. I had a decent time with Avengers, but it shouldn't have been live service, because the thing with live service games, eventually a service will end. And once the servers shut down, that money and time and effort that you spent on that game is gone. You can't play it anymore. I don't understand that. I don't know how that became the norm, but I hate it, and obviously a lot of people around the world hate it too, because nobody bought Concord, and that's exactly the point. We as the consumers do hold the power. And I say we, I didn't buy Concord, I wasn't going to buy Concord, I'm not huge into hero shooters. But we didn't buy the game, and therefore, that game is now gone. You can't buy it, you can't play it, it's gone. The years and the money and the time and the effort that it took to make that game, gone. Just like the time and effort and money you would have spent on playing it would be gone once the live service has ended. Why is this important, and how does this relate to Nintendo and AstroBot and everything? Well, if you have a PS5, which I'm sure some of you probably do, I got it on the day it released, it came with a little game called Astro's Playroom, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. It was essentially a tech demo showing what the PS5 could do. The haptics on the DualSense controller, the 4K 60 FPS on your TV at the same time, with ray tracing, and it was a platformer, a good platformer. It was still a tech demo, but it was still a very, very good game. couple years later, 5 years later at this point, AstroBot comes out, and this is it's a sequel. It's about as much a sequel as Super Mario 3D World is a sequel to Super Mario 3D Land, or whichever one came first. You don't have to play the first one to play the second one. You don't have to play Mario 64 before you play Mario Sunshine. It doesn't matter. AstroBot comes out, and now I haven't played AstroBot yet because I'm not home. I will be playing AstroBot, absolutely, because this game is very, very important, not only for platformers in general, but the entire gaming industry. This game is single player only. It's, from what I've read, maybe 10 to 12 hours, maybe upwards of 15 to 20 if you want to get every single collectible, and if you're a completionist, you want to platinum it. $60, not 70, not that whatever they're trying to do with that $70 price tag for new games. It's not $70. It's developed by Asobi, I think that's the developer's name, but published by Sony. This is a PS5 exclusive game, and it's somewhat of a tech demo again, in the way that it features, the insanely immersive haptics on the controller, and it shows more capabilities of what you can do with the controller, what the PS5 can do. So it is in essence sort of a tech demo again, but again, that doesn't take away from the fact, just like the Transformers movies are a commercial for toys, it doesn't devalue them any, and the same thing with a lot of, Marvel movies. Just because it has these little elements in it doesn't make it any more of an inferior product. And from everything that people have been saying, AstroBot is potentially game of the year. It's sitting at right now a 94% on Metacritic, which that is wild. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which if you know me, I'm pretty much the Mario Rabbids guy at this point. One of my favorite Switch games, and I think it got like an 83, 86, which is still very good, especially on Metacritic, but 94 for AstroBot is absolutely insane. And the correlation between Concord getting released, no one playing it, and then it shutting down in the same week, or same month, it was very short. AstroBot comes out, and it's selling incredibly well, getting some of the highest reviews out of any PlayStation exclusive in PlayStation history. Spider-Man 2 has a 90 for reference, which I think is a phenomenal game. AstroBot has a 94. But people on Twitter, on YouTube, are raving about AstroBot in every way. The platforming, the immersive haptics on the controller, the soundtrack, the sound design, all the Easter eggs and the cameos celebrating PlayStation's past. These games couldn't be more different. Concord, live service, battle pass, hero shooter, microtransactions, AstroBot. Single player, platformer, old school controls, reminiscent of Ratchet and Clank, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, things like that. They clash, and in this day and age, if you would have asked me who would have won, I would have said Concord before any of this went down, because it does have that 2020s stench of microtransactions and battle pass, and you don't really own anything because they could shut the servers down at any moment and you would lose everything, all of the hours and time you spent on the game. Or AstroBot, you buy it, you have it. You have the entire experience on that disc. You have the entire story, you have all of the cameos and everything you're going to go through while playing AstroBot, you have it on that disc. No strings attached. And so how does that relate to Nintendo? Well, Nintendo, obviously, they thrive on single player. They have games, obviously, with multiplayer capabilities like Splatoon 2 and 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Wonder to an extent, Super Mario Maker 2, but they thrive in the single player. All the Donkey Kong Country games, Legend of Zelda, all the Legend of Zeldas, the Mario, Kirby, Metroid, they're single player and they sell well every time. Most times. Because we're tired of this. We are tired of these games that you don't actually own. The company owns them, and they can shut them down at any moment. And I forgot to mention that Concord, rightfully so, they did issue refunds to everyone that bought the game. and I believe that GameStop did as well. So all the consumers aren't out anything, but I think that's just the important thing, is that we do have the power. Like, we do. It doesn't feel like it, because obviously they're the ones that make the games, they're the ones that develop them, but we do have the power, because if we don't want something, we won't buy it. And I think Sony, and especially the developer who made Concord, is going to learn a big lesson from this. And I think that it's so beautiful, in a sense, that AstroBot came out less than a week after Concord shutting down, because, I mean, it's poetic in a sense, because it just shows the drastic difference between those two games and the insane difference in quality and number of sales and the reviews. And it's not just a little gap. Like, AstroBot is projected to be the highest rated PS5 game ever, the highest rated PS5 exclusive ever, and one of the highest rated PlayStation exclusives in Sony's history. And so I did just want to make this video kind of informing you and letting you all know that this is important. And I think Nintendo is kind of in the right spot at the right time. Xbox, they've been falling behind ever since the Xbox One. The PS4 outsold that like 3-1. The PS5 is selling out the Series X and S like 4-1. They're not doing good. So that's a topic for another video. But I did just want to make this video because it is important, because I think we're going to see a very big shift in the gaming industry, whether it be, knowing the gaming industry, it could be more Battle Pass games with, the live service BS. That could absolutely be what happens. But I think that this is going to really teach them a lesson and really show them what we want. We want, and I'm not against multiplayer. Like I said, I play Fortnite pretty much every single day. But what I especially love is a complete game. And I haven't bought a game on release that was complete in years. I don't remember the last game. Maybe Spider-Man 2, but then again, that still had a ton of bugs and glitches, and there was just a certain level of unpolishedness that, now I still gave it like a 9.8 out of 10. It's amazing. But this is huge. Nothing like this has ever happened in my lifetime that I can recall. This is absolutely unprecedented. And again, like I said, I hope the best for everyone who developed Concord. I know they were just doing their job. But this is part of it. This is part of learning. And this is how we're going to be moving forward. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Again, I know it's kind of weird. I'm not in my usual space, but I hope you bear with me. Let me know, were you one of the people that bought Concord? Did you get your refund? Have you played Astro Bot yet? I cannot wait to go home and play it. I'm very, very excited. I haven't played a good platform, a new platformer, in a very long time. And that's where I thrive, 2D and 3D platformers. So I hope you guys have a great day. I gotta go get ready for this wedding, but I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take care of each other, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, and take care.